Hey guys, alright, so we're going to do reflections of shapes. So I do know that this is a little bit blurry, it's a little pixelated, so I'll make sure that you have the information you need. So we're going to do reflections over your x-axis and y-axis. So for your x-axis, a reflection over your x-axis means you are taking a point. So let's say we have point 2, 1. If we have a reflection over our x-axis, that means our y value is going to change to the opposite of what it was. So if I start with 2, 1, I'm going to end up with 2, 2. If I start with, or two, not 2, 2. If I start with 2, 1, I'm going to end with 2, negative 1. If I start with, sorry, that's my train of thought, 2, negative 2, then a reflection over your x-axis would mean that this would become a positive 2. Okay, so you're flipping up and down, which changes your y value. So it's kind of the opposite. If you're flipping over your x-axis, you would think the x would change, but it's really flipping it up and down, so you're changing your y value. So if you have a reflection over your y-axis, so let's say we choose the same points, 2, 1 and 2, 2. If it's a reflection over my y-axis, you're flipping left and right. You're flipping over that center line, which means your x value is going to change. It's going to be the opposite of what we started with. So this would be negative 2, positive 1. This would be negative 2, positive 2. And I'm going to throw another one in here. If it was negative 2, positive 4, this would change to a positive 2, positive 4. So only the one coordinate changes. Okay, and that's what this is saying right in here. So we're going to follow suit with the examples. Okay, so we'll make sure you have this so you can reference, but we're going to move forward. So for the first piece, we have triangle ABC with those vertices. So go ahead and draw your triangle. So once you've drawn your triangle, it says that it's reflected over your x-axis. And then we're going to find the coordinates of the vertices of the reflected image. So the blue is our pre-image here. So this is our pre-image. And I'm going to do our image, our new one, in purple. So if I'm looking at my box, I have these coordinates, which I already plotted my points. And it says, where is the shape being reflected? It's being reflected over your x-axis. So you can do this two ways. So the first way we talked about is just making your y value the opposite. So you could think about it like that. Or the second way, which is it gets you the same result. The second way is that you could multiply a coordinate by negative 1. So when you're reflecting over your x-axis, you're moving the shape or the function over your x-axis. You're flipping it up and down. So if you like this idea of multiplying, we're going to take our y coordinate and we're going to multiply it by negative 1. So if you don't like that idea, you can always say or change to opposite sign. It's the same idea, but one is more math, operational, and the other one is just a thought process. So you can do either. It's the same idea. So when we get a prime, our x stays the same. If we multiplied 2 by negative 1, we'd get negative 2. If you look at your graph, if I'm flipping a down, I'm moving it down to the same amount of grid lines it started, just on the opposite side of the x-axis, so 5, 2 becomes 5, negative 2, which is what we want. So either way works. You just have to pick a way that you want to do it. So b prime, I should get 1, and then this becomes a negative 3. So 1, 1, 2, negative 3, b prime, and then c prime, the negative 1x stays the same, but now this y value becomes the opposite or negative 1. So now my c prime is right here. So it should look almost like a mirror image because it is a reflection. Okay, so it should look like a reflection across your x-axis. So then this is our new image in purple. Okay, So now our second one, we have a quadrilateral KLM. It has vertices of K, L, M, and graph the figure and its reflection over the y-axis, then find your new coordinates. So go ahead and put your quadrilateral on your graph. Okay, so you should have something that looks like that. So we've graphed it, and now it's saying that we need to reflect over our y-axis. So where is the shape being reflected? It's going to be over your y-axis, which is this way, this left to right piece. So if we were thinking about the multiplying, which coordinate would be multiplied, it would be our x coordinate, because that's what's changing from left to right. So these points right here, if I just think about it, my pre-image of k is at 2, 3. It's now going to be at 2, -2, +3, because it's flipping over this x-axis. So k prime is now -2, +3. So that means if I did the multiplying, the x coordinate gets multiplied by -1. So this 5, 1 here would now become -5, +1. And so if I even count it out, if I'm going left to right, 5, 1 here, I need to be the same distance away from your x-axis. I'm going to stay at 1, but I'm going to go to -5. So L prime should be there. Okay. M prime, same idea. It's the x coordinate that changes, so it's going to be the opposite of what we started at. So -4, -2. So the x value changes, the y value doesn't. So I'm going to go to -4, -2, and that's where m prime is going to be. And then n prime, same idea, is the opposite x value. So -1, y value stays the same. So -1, -1 is now n prime, and then you can put in the lines for your shape, and you should have what looks like a mirror image across your y-axis. Again, so it doesn't bother me if you know the little math shortcut or if you count it out, but when you have a lot more of these to do with multiple steps, the math will become a little bit easier. So let's take a look at number 3, and the figure's already there, so we have a triangle, and we're going to reflect it across our x-axis. So let's find our points. So we've got J, K, and L. This is our pre-image. Okay, image. So J is 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4, +2. K is at 2, +4. And L is at 3, +1. So now we're going to take our shape and we're going to reflect it across our x-axis. So we're going to flip it up and down. So we're going to flip it down in this case. And when you do that, if you want to think of it mathematically, remember it's going to be x staying the same, but it's going to be the opposite y value. Okay, so I'm going to do all this in purple. So my x here for J is going to stay the same, but my y value is going to be the opposite. So that means J prime should be at -4, -2. So let's take a look. So if I'm flipping it down, it should be the same distance away on the top as it is in the bottom. So when I show that, it should be, my J prime should be right there, okay, at -4, -2. So for K, my X is going to stay the same, but I'm going to take my 4, make it the opposite, or multiply by -1. So K prime is going to be 2, -4. So let's take a look. So I should still be at 2, but I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's where K prime should be. So same thing with L. My X value is going to stay the same, but my Y value is going to be the opposite. So I should have L prime at 3, -1. Okay, so giving you 2 ways to think about it, 2 ways to do this process. Again, I'm not going to make you do one or the other or both, I'm not going to tell you have to do it one way. So choose which way you want to do this so you can make sure that you get your reflected image um, where you need it to be. Okay? So then I'm going to have you do 4 on your own. If you have questions, come and see me during your office hours. Um, other than that, have a great day.